And this is a follow-up from last week. I wanted my skull is feeling really contracted. And it was you're talking about somebody's skull, other stuff last week, and I said, would this work for that too? And I think it was hyssop. But basically, I feel like my skull's contracted. My head's contracted.
Is it just in the backside, or is it?
No, it's more even along the sides and around the back. Yeah. And
okay, so you could use a couple of different oils. The hyssop is more like you're putting the hyssop in that area specifically for stimulating medulla function. Like, so it might take a little bit of the tension out, but the rule of thumb that I use for this area is I use like either vetiver or Palo Santo fruit or pepper. Even marjoram could work, and you rub it on the base of the skull and you know, from the backside, like directly in the center and all the way around till you get behind the ear and even up around the ear. Like when I get to the ears, like I kind of like to use marjoram in the temple, and then like across the side right here, there's a series of 4 trigger points right in here, and you can just take marjoram and rub it in your fingers, and then just, or take the bottle and just go, you know, like blot it on the area and then rub it in. And a lot of times that'll take a bunch of the tension out. The other thing that I would say is, like, if you put your hand like on the side of your head like this, and then open and close your mouth, like just, you feel how much movement there's. So sometimes the problem's actually the jaw. And so like I would take some of the marjoram as well and like rub it into the jaw, and even put a few drops and like rub it back on the muscle a little bit, or gargle with it, like put 3-4 drops in and then just kind of swish it around in your mouth. I would also probably take some magnesium just to ease some of the tension in the jaw. You can also alternate like Petitgrin, like rubbed on the side of the head and in and around, you know, it's also antispasmodic. It's very good for the head and tissue around the head and things like that. And so I usually don't do that one right off the bat. I usually kind of do it as things are starting to unwind a bit, but you could throw that into the mix, and any form of Petitgrin would work. You know, there's 4 or 5 different kinds. So any of them would work.
Okay. I don't have any of them, but I'll get one. Okay, so in relationship to that, my head sometimes just gets so itchy, and it's not just like a dandruff itchy or anything. I think it's probably related to the contraction in my skull and not getting blood supply to the area. I mean, one night I was up for an hour.
Is it just the top, or is it the sides, or is it the whole head?
It's the whole thing. It's like I got mosquito bites all over my head, but I didn't.
With that, do you ever get itchy in other parts of your body?
Not as much. I mean, this is like keep me awake itchy. And the other parts of my body, no.
Okay. You could actually probably just go real simple with that. Like at first I would try either lavender or like Roman chamomile or Cape chamomile. Like if you had a choice, I'd do Roman, but I would actually just try the lavender first. And you can just even, I mean, you could put a whole bunch in your shampoo and then like do your head, or like sometimes I'll just take the bottle and just like plop it on my head and then just kind of move the lavender around. Lavender is very good for like when itching happens. Chamomile can be a little bit stronger, but that you're covering that big of a surface, I would just shoot for the lavender right off the bat and just see if it calms it down. Because like, you know, here's the thing is like, it can be like a weird kind of tension that happens in the tissue, and you know, the head being because of the jaw and having to hold your head up, and you know, who knows why it gets there.
Yeah.
We also have the energy coming up from the Ming Men, from the low back, and shoots up. And sometimes it hits the top of the head and can aggravate the tissue up there a little bit. And so the thing with lavender is it's one of the good approaches to taking out like nervous tension from like parts of the body, like out of the tissue. And a lot of times the itching is like the sensory nerves are like firing a whole bunch. And so like, you know, scratching them makes it feel good, or rubbing them, or, you know, changing the temperatures or whatever. But basically it's the nerves are firing more. And so I have used sage for that. I have used vetiver for that. But when it comes to the point where there's itchiness, I tend to go more lavender for that.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
And any of the lavenders will work. Like
Okay.
any of them. Like, so don't feel you need to go fancy or something. You don't. Like,
Okay,
you know, yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
And report, let us know how it is. Like, still do the thing that we said, like at the base of the
Yeah.
skull to unwind the tension.
Mhm.
Like, you know, this is many years ago, but this is just to like give you an example. Is, you know, I ran this research group where we were doing things with like head traumas and things like this. And there was another spin-off group that we did with that was focused mostly on like migraines and things, you know, migraine syndromes and things like that. And, you know, we were trying a bunch of different things that, you know, manipulation of the back, especially the low back, unwinding the hips, doing things in the neck, you know, all these things, doing these releases on the head and the skull and everything. And, you know, sometimes they would work really well, and then on the next person, it wouldn't. The one consistent thing that always seemed to help with the migraines, which is, you know, it's tension in the head, but it's also causing pain on one side of the head, was working on the jaw. Like if we went in and like manually unwound the jaw, the tension in the head would go away. And if the tension is really super deep inside the head, it's actually this like kind of weird muscle on the side that just feels like it goes like straight down. Like if you push on it, it almost like everything compresses, but that one muscle, it feels like a big guitar string that's sticking out there. It's that muscle.
Which
So
muscle
like
is
even go down into the neck and just do like a little bit of pressing and moving back and forth and see if you feel that. But that's usually like you feel that really super deep in your head. It doesn't feel like the side, it feels like deep within the head hurts.
Okay. What's the name of that muscle?
Boy.
It's not a scalene, is it?
No, it's not a scalene. It's let me look it up. It's not that one either. It's boy, it's been so long since I've done my anatomy. But, give me just a second and I'll find it for you. Yeah, I'm going to have to go through and look at my anatomy book because I do not remember what it is.
Great. Thank you for all the information.
Now I'm going down this rabbit hole and I'm like, I'm going to figure this out. Yeah, I'll have to look it up at some point.
Okay.
I'm not seeing it in my thing. So.
Okay, I'll check my anatomy book too and see if I can figure out which one it is. But I can,
you know, the thing that's nice, like I was just looking even on that triggerpoint.net, the thing is that's not like the full-blown textbook. It's just like a little quick reference guide. And so I'll have to go into my textbook.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Thank you.
You're so welcome.